Math lesson number 31. Dividing radicals. Rationalizing the denominator. If a is greater than or equal to 0 and b is greater than or equal to 0, then nth root of a divided by nth root of b is equal to the nth root of a over b. So in this case, we will divide the radicands, a divided by b. And that will be the new radicand, or the radicand of the quotient. Let's have examples. Number 1, divide square root of 8 divided by square root of 2. So square root of 8 divided by square root of 2 is square root of 8 over 2. 8 over 2 is 4. So square root of 4 is 2. Number 2, 8 square root of 72x raised to 5 divided by 2 square root of 2x. So first, let's have the coefficients. 8 over 2, or 8 and 2. So we need to divide that. 8 over 2. And then the radicands. 72x raised to 5 and 2x. So we need to divide that also. Now, 8 divided by 2 is 4. 72 divided by 2 is 36. X raised to 5 divided by x, using laws of exponents, is x raised to 4. So that is subtracting the exponents. 5 minus 1, 4. Now, square root of 36 is 6. Square root of x raised to 4 is x squared. So square root of 36x raised to 4 is 6x squared. Then multiplying that by 4, the final answer is 24x squared. Number 3. What is the meaning of rationalizing the denominator? So it is removing the radical sign in the denominator. A rational radical expression is simplified if the radicals in the denominator is removed. So let's have this example, 3 over square root of 6. So this is not yet simplified because there is a radical sign in the denominator, or there is a radical in the denominator. So we need to simplify this. Now, in order for the radical sign to be removed from square root of 6, we need to multiply square root of 6 by itself, square root of 6. And we call that as its conjugate. So the conjugate of square root of 6 is square root of 6. Now, what is a conjugate? Conjugate is an expression that must be multiplied to another expression to remove the radical sign. So again, 3 over square root of 6, we need to multiply the conjugate, square root of 6, to the denominator, and we need also to multiply square root of 6, the conjugate, to the numerator. So that's 3 square root of 6, because 3 times square root of 6 is 3 square root of 6. Square root of 6 times square root of 6 is 6. So the final answer is square root of 6 over 2. Why over 2? Because 3 over 6 can still be simplified into 1/2. So square root of 6 over 2 is the final answer. Next, number 4. 5 square root of 2 over 2 square root of 3. So again, the conjugate of square root of 3 is square root of 3. So we don't need to include 2 anymore because 2 has no radical sign. So only square root of 3. So again, we will multiply both numerator and denominator by square root of 3, the conjugate of square root of 3 of the denominator. So we have 5 square root of 2 times square root of 3 is 5 square root of 6. 2 square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 2 times 3. Why 3? Because square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 3. Now, let's simplify. 5 square root of 6, 2 times 3 is 6. So that's the simplified form. Let's have number 5. Negative 2 divided by square root of 3 minus 4. So this is a binomial radical. Square root of 3 minus 4. Now the conjugate of that is square root of 3 plus 4. So if this is minus, this is plus. So if this is minus, the conjugate is plus. So the radical sign is removed after multiplying the two conjugates. So that's the meaning of conjugate. A minus b, so we will be using this concept. A minus b times a plus b is equal to a squared minus b squared to know the conjugate to remove the radical sign in the denominator. So again, since we know already the conjugate of this, we need to multiply that, the conjugate, to the denominator and also to the numerator. So negative 2 times this is this, and then square root of 3 minus 4 times square root of 3 plus 4 is square root of 3 squared, coming from here, minus 4 squared. Now this one set aside. Square root of 3 squared is 3, minus 4 squared is 16. Now negative 2, square root of 3 plus 4, and then negative 13. So negative times negative is positive, so we can remove the negative sign. So 2 square root of 3 plus 4, we will distribute 2. So 2 times square root of 3 is this. 2 times 4 is 8 over 13. Let's have the last number. Square root of x plus 1 divided by square root of x minus 2. So the conjugate of square root of x minus 2 is square root of x plus 2. Because this is minus, the conjugate is plus. Now, we will multiply that conjugate to the denominator and to the numerator. So this one times this, we will be using FOIL method. That's 2 terms times 2 terms. So square root of x times square root of x is x. Square root of x times 2, outer, that will be 2 square root of x. 1 times square root of x is this. And then 1 times 2 is 2. And then for this one, we will be using this concept. So this times this is square root of x squared, that's a squared, minus 2 squared, that's b squared. Because a is square root of x and b is 2 in this example. Now we simplify the numerator. 2 square root of x plus square root of x, that will be 3 square root of x. So those are like terms. We can combine them. And then x plus 2, x plus 2. Now square root of x squared is x. Cancel the radical sign. And then 2 squared is 4. So this will be the quotient.